Hey everybody, it's your boy J. Allen Rackett here, and as you can see, we are on the Kickstarter page for Explorers of Navoria. Now, let me just say straight out, this is not a comprehensive look at Explorers of Navoria or the expansion. This is not only not a comprehensive look, it's a look at only one thing that I found really absurd, and so I just wanted to point it out to all of you to see what you think of it. The game has a lot of positive coverage. Hopefully scrolling doesn't make you sick, but if you go down, you'll see quotes from The Hungry Gamer, from Rado, from Man vs. Meeple, Jeremy at Man vs. Meeple. So you can see it's got a lot of positive reaction critically. The Hungry Gamer, I will put a link up to his preview. He does a lot of solo game coverage, and so this is what I'm doing instead of my own due diligence of looking at the game deeply, because I'm not really interested in doing so. So I was scrolling through Explorers of Navoria, and the thing that jumped out at me was definitely all of the positive response. But then I noticed something else about it that threw me off. So first you have the base game, and I see that you can buy the base game, and you can buy the base game so you can buy the base game for a very reasonable price of 44 USD. You can buy the base game with the expansion. It doesn't look like, I can't see a way that you buy the expansion by itself. I checked the add-ons and it's not listed there. So unless it's listed after you actually go to pledge, I don't see it, which is a little bit strange. The game came out in 2022 here in, it came out in several languages in 2022. Before that, and I don't know when because it's not listed on Board Game Geek, it was a game in China and it had a different title entirely. One interesting thing I found is that the comments and the ratings are very split. It seems like it has more like 10s and 5s side by side than I can remember seeing in a game where there's not like some war being fought behind the scenes about it. So that's interesting, but it does have a lot of, like I said, positive critical coverage. It seems it has a lot of positive quotes, at least. I haven't watched it, so you'll have to decide that for yourself. But one thing that I further noticed after seeing that you can't buy the expansion by itself is that it's 2 to 4 players, but it's 1 to 5 players with the expansion. So that to me is kind of funny, and it made me kind of look into it. This video is about the fact that when you go through this as a solo gamer, you're looking for player boards. Okay, so I'm going to pack 3 of those away. 12 Meeple Explorers, well, they're pretty cute. So maybe I'll keep a couple of them out and pack a couple of them sets away. I'll be packing away the turn, 75% of the turn markers. I'll be packing away 75% of the settlement markers, the VP markers, the reputation markers. I probably won't need as many goods tokens. I don't know, some games like when things are laid out on the board, you need just as many if you're in solo mode, and other times it's something that you're drawing out of a repository off on the side, and you don't need as many. And I have to tell you that I am personally fine with that. I have never heard a solo gamer out of nowhere complain about needing to buy 4 times the components that they'll need. Even though I think that we get a rep for doing that, I've never actually seen it just happen out of nowhere. Now, I have seen it said when a person who never plays solo complains about having to buy a solo mode, and then solo players will say, well, we always have to buy 4 times the number of components that we need to play the game, so it's okay if you have to buy a solo mode. And I think that that is true. I think that it is silly to complain about having to purchase a solo mode. I think it is a silly baby thing to complain about. I am fine with packing away the extra stuff that I don't need as a solo gamer. You should be fine with packing away the stuff that you don't need. Then again, I also understand when a company feels like they need to make it a separate expansion. They run their numbers. This isn't an industry with big margins. So I usually won't buy it out of the gate. A lot of times it makes me think that it hasn't been developed yet. With a game like this that has Euro mechanisms like worker placement, it doesn't seem. I think that solo modes are much easier to just bolt on. They don't need to be in the original core of the game. But still, a lot of times with solo modes sold separately, I like to hear about it because it's being developed separately. I am a little more hesitant and often like to hear about it, what people think about it when it's done. But then if I hear that it's good, I'll buy it, especially if it's adapting a multiplayer game to solo like this is. I would like more companies to do that, and so I am going to support that behavior. If it's, of course, I'm also not doing it out of charity. I'm doing it if it's a game that looks like I want to play it and that sounds good, but I'm not opposed to it is the point. But I don't think I've ever seen a game where the solo mode is packaged with everything that you need to play with a fifth player. It turns out that the solo mode is it is 8 side quest cards, 3 variant cards, and 10 bonus solo tokens. So you are buying something that has a fifth player in order to get 11 cards and 10 tokens. That's wacky. I'm not saying that I have a strong opinion about it. It just feels really absurd to put these things together. And I'm sure that they've run their numbers. They know their business, and they've said, well, I don't think that this is going to work to break into 3 separate expansions, one for solo, one for fifth player, and one with the extra gameplay, other extra gameplay material. It seems like it could have, because of the fact that you can't even buy the expansion as itself, as its own pledge. It doesn't seem like they have to really be offering a ton of material all at once to justify having somebody order it. But whatever, they know their own business. I do know absurdity though, and it's pretty silly. Now let me also say I don't have an opinion on the game, except that the art is very nice. It looks like Root, and maybe that's being done quite a bit, but the art is very nice. The board is very colorful, and it's very silly to have to buy a solo mode and the fifth player components in the same expansion. Anyway, I just want to quickly point this out. Have a great rest of your day, and keep playing solo, and maybe also with 4 other players.